Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala nabina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu jami'an. This is Abul Baraa Muhammad Amreeki, and I'm talking to you today from Makassar, Indonesia. I'd like to talk about my trip to Makkasar, Indonesia, and to some of my visits while I'm here in Indonesia to visiting one of the Salafi communities here in Indonesia. And I discuss my account, what I witnessed here, what I seen here from one of the places I traveled to. So, alhamdulillah, due to my stay here in Indonesia, to Makassar, Indonesia, I find my stay here very pleasant, alhamdulillah. And one of the places, from many places I've been to, from different masajid, from different masjid, is visiting a Salafi community. Now, the Salafi Dawah in Indonesia, from my personal opinion and from what I view with my own eyes, is very much present here, and it has a very large community, and it has a very good influential community. One of the things I noticed about being in this particular area, this particular city, is the radio stations, that I found only one Islamic radio station. And this particular radio station is actually a Salafi-owned radio station. And one of the current Ustaz or Sheikh here is by the name of Ustaz Dzulqarnain, who studied with Sheikh Muqbil Rahimahullah, and he also studied with Sheikh Saleh Al-Fawzan Hafidullah in Saudi. One of the brothers told me that he lived with him for a year studying with the Sheikh, and another person informed me also he was the chauffeur for the Sheikh, so he was able to study with the Sheikh, and he lived with the Sheikh for about a year in his home. I got to visit the Sheikh, his Markas, but I didn't get to visit him because he was out of the town. And mashallah, I met with the brothers there, and mashallah, I noticed in this particular place, Allah has blessed them and blessed their dawah. So from their masajids, not just one masjid, but they have many masjids here and centers, Markas, many centers here, different places of teaching and different gatherings. Even in the building I live in, where I rented out to stay at, they even come here and give dawah. And I met some of the brothers, told me they actually live in the complex where I actually live in, and they even give dawah here. So they have many places where they go give dawah. They have many masajid. They have many du'ats. And one of the brothers I got to speak to, who study in Yemen, is by the name of Abul Baraa As-Sufyan. Mashallah, very beautiful brother. I met him the other day, and mashallah, the brothers didn't speak English, and I don't speak Indonesian. So mashallah, with this particular brother, we just spoke in Arabic, mashallah, tabarak, which is very beneficial for my trip, and it shows the istiqamah with some of the brothers with establishing the religion, establishing the deen, and learning the Arabic language. So I was very much impressed. He informed me also about another place, which also one of my in-laws informed me the place, the center of the Sheikh. So I went there the other day, and I was very much overwhelmed with khair. I was very much overwhelmed with khair. في هذا المكان ما شاء الله تبارك جماع الخير جماع الخير, much forms of benefits in this particular place. It's called Markas As-Sunnah, right? Markas As-Sunnah. And this particular place, mashallah, they had a live radio station there, and I got to visit it, mashallah. They have the Sheikh's Masjid, mashallah. They have a number of different places for the mahad, for the people for learning. They even have a place for children, and they had they had a compound. And no, a compound is not like a building complex in America where you have different floors. Well, a compound has different sections. So in this area that appears to be very crowded, where they have a very large compound, which you really can't tell when you walk inside, but they have a masjid, and on top of the masjid, they have a maktab, and they have a store, and then they have their radio station. Then they have a large place for students to live. And I was very much impressed with this. I seen all the different tulab there studying. When I was in the library, I got to meet some of the teachers, and I got to meet some of the students there. And mashallah, man, I felt the vibe of al-ikhwa. The ikhwani. I felt the brotherly vibe, al-muhabba. I felt the love, and you see the seriousness about the religion. You see this serious about the religion with the brothers there. And mashallah, they had, like I said, they had the radio station, and then they had right by the radio station, there, right by the radio station, they had on the other rooms to their quarters for the students, the places to give classes, places for their books, and the sheikh, mashallah, where he give his durus and stuff in on the masjid, in the actually masjid musalla, mashallah. Then I got to meet some of the tulab, some of the students there from many ranges of young ages. I had a very small conversation with them, and mashallah, with just talking with them, and them brothers, I asked them what they studying, man. These young guys, and I can't speak Indonesian, they can't speak English, so they talking to me in Arabic, and they're telling me different books in Aqidah they've been studying, the different books in Mustalah Hadith they've been studying, and the different books in fiqh they've been studying from their sheikh who teaches them. And I was, mashallah, very impressed. And they had like a very, outside the masjid, they had a maktaba. They had a library there, and the maktaba, mashallah, just many of the books from the ulama, from the mashaykh, many of the books that the mashaykh recommend to study, and they had a very large library just downstairs for the students. And then in their office, they have a very large library that I was able to take some pictures of, and I had shared them in the video. Inshallah, that I will add them to this particular video. It was very beautiful, this particular trip, and this particular experience. When I met one of the brothers who study in Yemen, by the name of Abu Darda Sufyan, and he asked me about Salafiyah in America, and asked me about myself, and we came to the conclusion that the Salafi Dawah in the non-Arab countries, we all go through the same struggles and stuff like that. And it was very interesting because the Salafi here in Indonesia go through some of the same trials as us Salafis in the Western countries go through, except for there's a big difference between in the Muslim world and Salafi here in Indonesia. Indonesia is the largest populated Muslim country. And Indonesia have a lot of province. I believe about 40 province, and each province is an island. So they told me in all of Indonesia, well, Alsima, Jakarta, and the capital Jakarta, that they said that even in the capital, they don't have a lot of Salafis. So here in Makassar, they have the largest Salafi community. They have the largest Dawah center. Right? They even had a sheikh from Saudi. He came and visited them here and gave durus here. And I was actually late for that. That I was informed about that later, due to not speaking Indonesian language and not able to grasp what some of the programs. And so somebody actually, one of the family members actually took me to the center, took me where I could find these brothers and stuff. And I was, mashallah, I was pleased. So when I was talking to the Salafi brothers there, it's like the same vibe I got from talking to the Salafi brothers in America or any other place, UK, in the Arab countries or the Muslim countries, like Arab countries, the same vibe. But the difference between here in Indonesia and Makassar, the difference between these two places is that first and foremost, that the Salafi Dawah here it seems to be more fruitful. There is a fadl from the Dawah, which I don't see in America, the fadl of the Dawah, meaning that here in Indonesia, I can see that they put their money where their iman is at. They put their money, not just their money, their time and their effort where their iman is at. I cannot honestly say that I see that amongst Salafis in America. And this is the reason why I say I can't see it in America, that people from the Muslims in the city, the urban cities in America, I'm not talking about du'at, I'm not talking about tulab, I'm talking about the average Salafi in the Western world. in America, the average Salafi in America, I can say for here that the people here put their money where their faith is at. Just when I went to the Dawah Center, this place was, from the outside, you probably said this is nothing. But when I walked inside, it's like, man, this place is like a mansion. This place was huge, and then they didn't need a lot of money to keep up the place. It doesn't appear that they need a lot of like fancy looking building and stuff, but they have the building they had, which is very big. It was very much, they made use of every space, every area. They made use for it to either teach or give dawah. Teach or give dawah, something related to the religion. I say somebody had to pay for these type of things, right? And I seen the students when the Maghrib came in, some of them were fasting. I seen food was given to them. Alhamdulillah. I seen many good things. I seen even a hadana. I seen Ansari had a hadana for children. They even had a madrasa. I think it was ibtadiyya at least, like a grade school. I think ibtadiyya. I think it was ibtadiyya or adadiyya. And then they had hadana. Then I had a section all for the women, which I was not able to go there, right? But just I seen the madrasa for the little children, and I seen the hadana, which is like what we consider to be nursery for us. I seen it had a little area and stuff like that. It was a very beautiful place, and students lived there. They had a lot of students living there. I had to take a picture of their quarters where they was living, and I was like, mashallah, they're very into the knowledge, seeking it out. Here in America, and I said I was hurt when I seen a place. I said, because in America, I was telling one of them, in America, sometimes a person will come from the Muslim world, particularly like Saudi or any of the Dora Arabiya, any of the Arab countries. They would come to America, and they would say America in general is a place known for wealth and money and advancements. And you would think that with the Muslims in America, particularly Salafis in America, that they will have some benefit from this in their dawah. And the reality is that you don't see it in some cases in America. You don't see that. You don't see where the Muslims, especially in the inner city or some suburbs, you might see it, but in the inner city and in some suburbs I've been to in New York, that the Salafis will have money. They don't put their money into the dawah. They don't put their money into the masjid. They don't put their money. They do not invest their money into establishing Salafi Dawah. And that's the difference between here and there. Here in Indonesia, the Salafis in Indonesia, and in America. That's the first thing I noticed. That's the first thing I noticed, the difference between the Dawah in America and the Dawah here. And then I asked them basic simple questions like Kayfa Hukam be as Salafiyah. Kayfa Hukam, how's the government with the Salafi? Right, Dawah Salafiyah, and they said the government have no problem with Dawah Salafiyah. They said they don't have no problem, and they said due to their culture, the Indonesian people, that a lot of them are open, so they're able to talk with people, they're able to give dawah to people. Due to the culture of their peoples, they're able to, the people's a little bit open. He said some of them are open, so they're able to engage in dawah with their own peoples, which I was, mashallah, I was very much excited to see these things, and I was very much excited to recognize these things. But while we was talking, me and his brother, the gentleman, Abu Baraa, he was, mashallah, we was exchanging about some different moshaykh. And this is where you get to see where the people are at. And, because in America, when people start asking about what moshaykh you take from, it's about, okay, if you really Salafi or not, or you Hizbi or not, what's your minhaj, what's your mawqi', what's your position, right? So when it was asked, we were talking. I mentioned some places I studied in Egypt, a sheikh I studied with in Egypt and stuff, and they asked me about what you think about Sheikh Muhammad Raslan. And I said, mashallah, I respect the Sheikh Muhammad Raslan, hafidhullah, and he has tazkiyah of some sheikh. And I said, but I didn't get the opportunity to study with him. I studied with another sheikh, And they asked me, is Haqqawani? I said, oh yeah, don't take from this guy. It's like, yeah, they don't take from this guy. So I was like, okay. So I could see that they're very much familiarized with the different kalam and some of the fitna between different mashaykh and some of the people who have been refuted by This was very clear. We were just discussing this general discussion, and he said, "Yeah." I said, "In America, sometimes the Salafis they fight between these things," and he said they have that in Indonesia, but it's not like a big problem with them due to the culture. Right? So they don't have a lot of fitna people separating, the Salafi separating due to some of the cultural things. So I said, "MashaAllah, that is a blessing." I said because in America, I said the Salafis we're very much split into different groups, into following different moshaykh and things like that. So they said that they really don't have a lot of that. They don't have a lot of that fitna here. Here, well, that they have it, but it doesn't. It's not separating them. And that was something that really caught to my mind. That it's not separating them. Have I been to other places in Indonesia, other Salafi communities in Indonesia? No, I haven't been there, so I can't really say. But from their word of mouth, not a person word of mouth, but their word of mouth, they don't. They said they don't. It's not a. It's something that doesn't divide them here, and that's due to the culture. While us in America, we divided. If you look in the YouTube, you look on certain social media, you can see the division just between the du'ats, the different du'at. You just can see the division and the refutation against each other while they're not refuting Ahlul Hawa, they're not refuting Ahlul Bida, they're not refuting Al Kufar, they're not refuting Ahlul Kitab. They're refuting each other, or both of them study from the same sheikh or graduated from the same university, or they graduate from a university, all in the same country, which the government makes sure the Aqidah is a Salafiyah in the school. They still refuting each other, right? So I seen here that they didn't have that much of a fitna here, right? I see that that's not dividing them here. But I got to visit some other Salafis, some in-laws or in-law, alhamdulillah, and just talking with her here in Indonesia, one of my in-laws, she was explaining to me, some the regular problems that every Muslim have in wherever country you go. That's marital problems and things like that. And she was asking me some questions and stuff like that. And I was like, I work in the masjid as an imam. I said, man, I got problems in my own marriage. I said, that's something that every human, anybody who's married, male or female, that you're gonna go through some type of trials in your marriage. And I said, and that's something very clear you could find. Even the Messenger of Allah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his wife were a test from him due to their jealousy, right? And that's a natural aspect, right? That man, husband, and wife, you're gonna have some type of disagreement. So just talking with her and understanding from the women point of view who Salafi, mashallah, she explained to me also, this in-law of mine, is that some of the mashaykh that came to visit Indonesia, and she had mentioned to me in the past that Sheikh Rabi al-Madkhali had visited Indonesia. And she mentioned about a particular sheikh here who has studied with Sheikh Mukbil rahimahullah, and he had lived with Sheikh Salih Fawzan hafidhullah. And then just talking with the other brothers here and hearing about the dawah, I can see that maybe they have like some of them the sheikh, but I see that's not allowing them to divide from each other to give the dawah. And they told me that they have a lot of centers here, and that was something that was very excited about. They said they have a lot of centers here, not just in one place, not two or three, so they're all over in the city. They have many centers. And I found them to have their radio station. Now, their radio station, mashallah, tabarak, they play Quran. Their ustad, their sheikh, Sheikh Dzulqarnain, he gives durus on there. They show me his seat in the radio station where he gives his durus. And I'm going to try to visit him before I leave, inshallah, because I'm going to leave soon. And I want to visit him because I happened to be not there when he was there, but he showed me where he gives his durus. And I listen to the radio station here. Even though I don't speak Indonesian, I can hear when they make reference to hadith and ayat and make reference to different ulama. I can hear them all the time, mention the different ulama that are known for knowledge, especially from the past, like Sheikh Mukbil, Sheikh Rabbani, Sheikh Salih Fawzan, and different other mashaykh that's known from the Kibar ulama. I can hear them referencing and reading from their works on the radio station. And I was very much overwhelmed, and I love this. Mashallah, may Allah increase them in good. But this will conclude my small talk right now related to Indonesia and my trip here and visiting the Salafis here. This will conclude it for now. But inshallah, I'll add this particular video on my page after I edit it. And inshallah, it would be a good reminder, especially for brothers who visit Indonesia, Salafi brothers, that for sure that there is a Salafi community here in Indonesia. there's a very big Salafi community everywhere in Indonesia. You could find, and that's something that it's a benefit, mashallah, that many people don't know. As one of the brothers explained, I mentioned about Malaysia, because I know in Malaysia have some universities there, and they said Malaysia, they have their places of learning, but they said their dawah is not big like the dawah in Indonesia. The dawah here in Indonesia, how it affect the people, is not like how it affect the people in Malaysia. And they said even sometimes some of their peoples from Malaysia come and visit the Salafis here in Indonesia, and I said, mashallah. So he said that, they have a very large dawah reach here in Indonesia. So I was like, mashallah. So for brothers who wants to come to Indonesia or make hijrah to Indonesia or want to make hijrah to Indonesia and who are Salafi, that there is Salafi community here. I'm going to conclude the video. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik wa shalama ant wa astaghfirullah wa atubu ilaik.
Jelas ya? Itu sebagian orang sufi itu bisa sekali. Ini sorban saya, gaya ikatnya seperti ini. Gaya ikat seperti ini diajarkan oleh Syekh saya Fulan bin Fulan. Syekh saya meriwayatkannya dari Fulan bin Fulan, dari Fulan bin Fulan, dari Fulan bin Fulan. Disebut semua silsilah Ahlul Bait sampai kepada Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ya. Seakan-akan dia bisa membodohi semua orang. Itu kalau diperiksa sanadnya, itu musalsal bil majahil, orang-orang yang tidak diketahui asal usulnya dari mana. Ya. Fulan bin Fulannya dari siapa? Yang bercerita sanadnya itu suruh terangkan. Fulan bin Fulannya dari siapa, dia tidak bisa terangkan. Itu hadith, kalau di dalam bahasa ilmu hadith yang sangat dhaif, tidak bisa diterima. Ada pendukungnya pun tidak bisa diterima. Sebab terlalu banyak rawi majhul di dalamnya. Jelas ya? Majhulul ain, yang tidak diketahui siapa orangnya. Baik. Jadi
kita coba sebutkan. Kalau ada yang sanggup, silakan hari Sabtu kemudian dan naikkan mas. Nah, kalau nggak sanggup, dari Sabtu kemudian ya.
Nusbatul fikar, tahrijul hadis, jar wa ta'dil.
عندك طلب الكتاب في جر وتعديل؟ أي كتب؟ في جر وتعديل، موجود كتب كثيرة في جر وتعديل. ها؟
نشيط
أي كتاب في جر وتعديل؟
إمام أبي هاتم.
إمام هاتم، ما شاء الله. ما شاء الله أنت شيخ صغير، ما شاء الله تبارك. أنا بداية في كتاب في جر وتعديل. هذا شيء ثقيل. هذا شيء ثقيل يعني. ما شاء الله تبارك. أي كتب هذا في حديث، أحب حديث.
في المصطلح الفعل العراقي.
في أي مساوى؟
مصطلح الفعل العراقي.
ما
كتاب مثلا الفعل العراقي.
هذا كتاب من
لا ليس
يا شيخ تفضل يا شيخ لا تنسى شيخ لا تنسى يا شيخ لا تنسى تفضل ما شاء الله